and welcome to the ESCAPUZZLED podcast, your one-stop shop for all things escape room, immersive, and tabletop games. Today you are joined by me, that's Helena, Corey, my fabulous co-host.
Hi, and also joining us today is Leary, the creator of Cloak and Dagger games, a unique take on online escapes drawing inspiration from Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, taking control of a live games master to make your way through an escape experience. How are we doing today, Mia?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us on what is turning out to be a cold winter's evening.
Oh my god, it is icy.
I know.
It is. But we're in spooky season, so
No, we are
I'm
not,
excited.
Corey. We are in Christmas season.
We are not in Christmas season. We are
We've
not
got
doing this.
spooky season first.
Nope.
But it gets posted in Christmas season.
Nope. September all the way through. It's spooky season, even
Okay.
to December.
I've only just realised what Helena means.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because this is getting posted in December. That makes sense.
Okay, it's nearly
Ah.
Christmas.
It's so close to Christmas. How are you guys getting on? Are you ready to go? Have you already bought presents and things?
Man, we just ruined the magic.
I tried. I really tried.
Damn you, scheduling.
Maybe we should have planned that beforehand.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
Let's be honest, even when this goes out on the 18th of December, I am not going to be remotely prepared for Christmas. I'll probably not even have started my shopping. So, what's the
Yeah.
difference to now? Editor Corey here. I have actually finished all of my Christmas shopping, so suck it, past Corey.
I'm really good. I started last weekend and I feel like I've accomplished
No way.
something. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
I've
okay.
already started too.
What? Yeah, maybe it's a bloke thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and buy Christmas presents on like the 23rd, probably.
It was the 22nd and 23rd last year.
It's impressive. Well done.
And I managed to get it all sorted over 2 days. I need to start buying in the Boxing Day sales. Get it sorted a year in advance while it's cheap. As always on the ESCAPUZZLED podcast, we like to get to know our guests as fast as possible with our not so quickfire questions, our escape room player profile, in which we have a multitude of different questions to get to know our guest as an escape room player. So, Mia, what is your player stereotype in an escape room?
I'd have to say it's probably the leader.
Okay, taking
Ooh,
control
we
in the
haven't had
room.
one of those yet.
Are you dictator leader or are you like for the people leader?
I try to be kind.
So what I'm
In
hearing
an
here is
escape room.
dictator leader.
No, I just find I don't know what it is, but I tend to go with groups of people who, when we get there, they go, "Oh, escape room," and they look around everything and then do nothing. Like, no, come on, we've got a time limit. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those kinds of people need to be let in the room 5 minutes early just to
Yes.
sort of sink in, and then by the way,
Yeah.
the time started now.
If I'm with a particular team and it gets to like 10 minutes till the end and they're still sort of faffing around, like, no, go, move.
Ready to throw hands.
Yes.
I am exactly the same. I will try my best to be as nice as possible to my team, but there's a high chance that I am going to shove you out the way. We've got 3 minutes left.
Exactly. We played a game where it was called Rob the Bank, and in the last 5 minutes of the game, it is the alarm goes off and you have to get all of the gold into the van before the time runs out. And they were still going, "Oh, shall we carry it this way? Shall we hold it this way?" Like,
Get it in the van!
"No, grab it and go. Move."
Yeah, they would not make good thieves by the sounds of it.
No, they're all very planned.
This is why prior planning comes out.
Like actual alarms going off. Oh, well, let's
Yeah.
There are
something.
literally red flashing lights, sirens, and you are standing here. Move.
So you did a bank heist. That sounds amazing. What is your favourite theme to go and play in escape rooms?
I mean, it's definitely not a typical theme, but my favourite has to be Alice in Wonderland.
Wow, that's a controversial one.
So controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, yeah. I think every time I see an Alice in Wonderland themed escape room, I'm like, I have to go and play it. I love Alice in Wonderland. And just because I think it's so creative and what you can do with it, I like to see what people have done with it, what their take on it is. So I'm always very excited to play an Alice in Wonderland room game.
Well, you're certainly not spoiled for choice there because they are everywhere.
What's the best Alice in Wonderland game you went and played? Give them a shout out.
There is a good one by Escape Hunt in Lakeside. They do a good Alice in Wonderland one. They stick quite closely to the books, which is quite nice to see some references to the original book. They had like the tiny little doors and you had to get in. There's some different kinds of puzzles. So I don't know about you, but I don't really like all the escape rooms that are just solely electronical with just buttons things. I like things you actually have to physically move around and do something a bit out of the box to solve it.
Yeah, very much a big fan of old-fashioned, clunky, satisfying, like,
Good
it needs
luck.
to make a noise when I solve it.
Yeah, exactly. And this one just had so many out of the box puzzles that I hadn't necessarily seen before. A lot of them did rely on the game master. So I think it would depend on what game master you had, would depend on your experience there. But our game master was very good and it was very cleverly done.
Shout out to that one escape master at Escape Pod.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job, pal, if you're listening. Alice in Wonderland's a weird one because I feel like the scope for the room is huge.
Yes.
Like, you can do so much with that theme. And obviously, if you can pay homage to the original book, it is C.S. Lewis, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if you can pay homage to the original book, then even better. But I feel like a lot of rooms do a lot of things almost exactly the same.
Yeah, that is quite true. It is purely my favourite, just a personal favourite because I like Alice in Wonderland.
I mean, it's your favourite theme, not ours, so
Yeah.
we don't have a choice in the matter.
I think it is like you say, they have been so overdone. There isn't a lot differently you can do with them. I know for the wizarding ones, you do get a bit bored if they haven't gone very creative with it. If they've done the same bog standard, wizarding things like you've seen from Harry Potter, you get a bit boring.
I actually recently done a Harry Potter-esque game, and it was just full of do you know all the stuff that you can get in the Harry Potter shops in Edinburgh?
Oh my
Oof.
God, it looked like
Whole
a gift
game.
shop, did it?
Literally. And I was like, I've got this mug.
Oh no. I think if you're going to do the same kind of themes, you have to try and go a bit more out of the box, a bit more creative with it to give it something a bit different.
Yeah, if I'm doing witchcraft and wizardry, I want actual magic. And
Yes.
I've seen actual magic happen in escape rooms. I've made actual magic happen. Of course I want to see more of that, but to go into a game and it's just full of all the stuff that you can buy and B&M, which has Harry Potter on it. And I was walking around this room going, oh yeah, I've seen that before, on the shelves. And I get it, they want to pull as much actual Harry Potter into a game without pushing any copyright sort of stuff. But there's a lot easier ways to do it.
We've done an awful lot of complaining for a favourite theme.
I know, oh my God, I'm sorry. We also love Alice in Wonderland.
I did a wonderful Alice in Wonderland game recently at Northumberland Escape Rooms. Yeah, it was really, really good.
Aw.
Very
Oh, nice.
creative.
What was different in that one? What still sticks in your brain about it?
There was a few technology-based puzzles, but the way the tech was used was really, really cool. This is the issue with having an escape room podcast, is doing all of these cool rooms and not being able to say anything about them because it spoils them.
Is this the one in Marbeth?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you went and played a few of their games, didn't you?
Maybe went and played all of them.
Have you gone and played? Okay, you went and played
Sorry.
all of them. Without me, I'd like to add.
Scandalous.
So scandalous.
No,
How dare
sorry.
he? I was invited, I just didn't have time.
Just stop complaining.
Well, while we are complaining, we may as well get into your least favourite theme.
Ooh, that's segue though.
I know.
The least favorite is probably sci-fi, more specifically, more of the technological based ones, the robot ones into the future. I just think, like you said previously, I like things I can actually interact with. I like the physical kind of when you can hear stuff clicking and when you put it into place, it just sounds much better. I don't like going somewhere that there's just technology everywhere I look. Everything's quite two-dimensional. It just gets quite boring.
I also find technology incredibly unreliable. So apparently that's a touchy subject. I've mentioned it to a few people and they've been like, tech's great. And I'm like, no, is it though?
When I worked at an escape room company, they had one game in particular that they decided they were going to make entirely technological, so that you didn't have a padlock or anything. It was all technological, and they had to close it in the end because everything went wrong all the time because technology does. Technology is not our friend, we have realized.
No, just wait until the
in escape
robots take
rooms.
over.
They're coming for me first. You will say we do good.
Yeah, all of the Alexas in your house are currently eyeing you up, ready to
Little side
transform.
eyes.
Suddenly start removing all Alexas.
Obviously, you've mentioned you like a lot of actual sort of physical locks and physical pieces that you have to move into place, like satisfying, clunky, tactile things. What would you say is your favorite type of lock in an escape room?
I'm not sure if you'd specifically count it as a lock, but my favorite lock is the mag lock that they use to open secret doors in escape rooms.
I'd count that as a lock because it's also one of my favorites, joint with the
Yeah.
cryptex, but I'd count it as a lock.
Yeah, that has my
Exactly.
favorite thing in an escape room because especially where the bag locks are designed, you can't see them that they're going to open, so they can literally be hidden behind anything, and it could be a door.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's the closest thing to real magic you'll get in an escape room. Like panels dropping down, things moving, doors opening, all with mag locks. So much fun.
Exactly.
Okay, so we talked about your favorite puzzles, favorite locks, favorite themes. Let's be a negative Nancy now. It's my turn, Corey.
Woo!
What is your least favorite puzzle?
I mean, I'm not a fan of any of the like mathematical based ones. The one just because I think they're quite boring. They're not very creative.
Get maths out of escape rooms.
Yeah, it's just you plus this to that minus that. Oh, hey, you've got the number. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a puzzle. It's just math.
Yeah. Even if you struggle with maths, it's still boring.
Yeah. Like it's not challenging. It just takes a long time. It deserves to stay in a classroom. Get it out the rooms.
I mean, I'm quite a creative person, and as we've already discussed, I like things that are quite hands-on. So if I go into an escape room and I see that there's maths and just writing everywhere, I turn off.
I want to see some geography in a room. Get some oxbow lakes in there. I'll tell you how they form. Less of this math.
You know what though? My brother did that. My brother is very logically minded, and he walked into an escape room and he saw a globe that they had on there, and one of the things just written on the wall was some sort of coordinates, and he just went, "Oh, well, that's about there." And he just looked at the globe and he got the thing out, and then he just put it into the lock, and then it opened the door, and he went, "Is that it?" And the game master came out. I was like, "No, no, 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 no!" It's like you weren't supposed to get it from
No
that. That's the
way.
entire game done. And then they laughed and went, "Can we go back in and pretend we didn't do that and just continue as if we hadn't just solved it?"
Bypass the
"Yes, go
entire
back."
game.
Yeah.
That's sensational. To be able to just look at some XY coordinates and go, "No, yes, here on the globe," is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even looking at a map can't tell you where I am.
He did it in about 10 minutes. That's why they were so kind of, no, 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 no. You need to go back.
That's incredible. Can I have him on our team, please?
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
He's,
Get this man
"Oh,
on the
yeah."
chase.
Oh my god, yeah. Pub quiz team, that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
So obviously, by the sounds of it, your brother's strength is anything. Guy's a unit. What are your strengths in an escape room?
I'd say I'm probably good at linking the puzzles together and just generally being the voice of reason in the group. So I tend to go with some excited friends, and they'll go off, and as in your previous stereotypes, I tend to go with quite a lot of explorers, and they go around going, "Oh, look at this! I found this! I found that!" And they're trying to do so many different things, and I'm like, well, that's probably going to be a bit later on. We're probably going to have to solve this first. Just sort of lining them up, trying to guide them and connect them together in just a more efficient way, so we can actually get through the game before they get too excited.
Like cats with lasers.
Yes.
They're immediately focused and they're like, "Yeah, this is everything that I need right now, and I'm not deviating."
Yeah. Or they'll see something in the room and they go, "Oh, look, they've got a telephone." I'm like, "Yes, but it's glued to the table. So I'm presuming that that's just a prop. Please leave it alone."
Oh no, let's rip it off the table. Chances are we need the serial number from the underside of the
Oh,
glued phone.
I know the amount of times you have to tell people, please do not stand on the chairs. Please do not rip the wallpaper off of the
Please do not
walls.
jump out of the window.
Yes.
Do not stick anything in the plug sockets. There is nothing
Yeah,
in there. It
I
is just
know.
electricity.
But if it's glued down, it's not meant to move.
Yeah, everyone's like, if you need to put excessive force in, doesn't need lifted. And I'm like, that's a challenge right there. That's a challenge.
And when somebody used to come back to me of like, "Oh, that seems like a challenge," I used to go,
Spraying them with water. Ah, nope. Ah.
So we've spoken about all of your strengths. What are your weaknesses in escape rooms? Or is it just the players you're with?
No,
Wow.
no. oh my God, I've made myself sound out like an absolute horror to be in an escape room with. Like, I will boss you around. I am really not that bad, I promise. My weakness would probably be fixating on a puzzle, especially if I think this is the one that links to the next part. I just sit there fixating. It has to be it, has to be it. And then it'll be later on someone will go, but I just found this and this will probably add on to that. And now you can fix it. But I've just wasted 10 minutes of my life on that.
Creating the most absurd link and jumps of logic.
Yes. They're like, well, the missing number is just here. It's like, well, I've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to figure out what that missing number is.
Like when you get Morse code early in a game, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I now need to wait for a decoder to actually solve this because unfortunately my brain's not that good.
Yeah, or then you just start clicking the I don't know what it's called, the Morse clicker button. What is it called? The little clicker.
I'm gonna call it a tapper.
Yeah, it's some
Tapper?
tap thing that you do to like tap out the Morse code, and then you get and you see one of them, and you just like, oh, I'm just gonna tap this for a while, see if we can guess.
It's called a keyer.
Ah.
Keyer. I typed in Morse code tapper, and when you type in Morse code tapper, the top search is Morse code tapper thing. So evidently, we're not the only people looking for it.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That
it's
makes
called
me
a
feel
keyer.
slightly better.
Oh, I don't feel that about the telegrapher. So I thought it was a telephone. It's the telegrapher.
Ah.
Hmm.
Some people call it a paddle key. What? One of the top videos is how to make a portable Morse code keyer.
Oh, because that's what I always wanted.
Yeah,
I mean,
just in
that
case I
feels
ever
like-
need to send Morse code to my mum while I'm at the shops.
It's a
I mean,
very
it's good
escape
practice
room
for
thing.
escape rooms.
Yeah. I feel like the people that are Googling that run escape rooms.
Without a doubt. I'm so tempted to get like a Morse code and a semaphore like tattoo just so I
Yeah.
have a cheat sheet immediately on my arm. So I don't need to
Amazing.
wait half of the time for clues.
Or even the Google searches where it's, what are all the words you can make with a letter padlock?
Yeah, word unscramblers. The amount of times I've used those playing like at home games. I'm like, I could sit and solve this myself. Oh.
I mean, even creating my own puzzles, I found all the words you could make with the letter padlock, and then I lost the website. I was like, no, that was my key to everything.
Guess I gotta start that again.
I'm starting to
Amazing.
think that's your favourite puzzle.
Yeah. love letter lock. I just love any sort of like cool creative lock that I've not seen before.
Yeah, I like custom made locks. They're really cool.
I also like finding locks in the wild.
In the
Like,
wild, they're
yeah.
roaming about, are they?
Yeah, in their natural habitat.
That's
No,
really
like
cool.
out in the world. Like I was walking down at the beach the other day and I came across a gate that had a big thick lock on it and I was like, whoa, that's a very pretty lock.
I don't know why I'm laughing though. I have a whole collection of old keys.
Yeah, me too. I think
There
we
we
all
go.
do.
Who should we be laughing at now?
That is true.
Yeah. And it's really bad. My friends know I do it as well. So they'll like give me all the keys that they find. And it's very sweet. I do
Where are you
also
guys finding old keys?
I work in a vintage shop as well. So
I mean, that's fair
occasionally-
enough. But I thought you
yeah.
meant just finding them on the street.
I mean, if I found a rogue key and it was interesting on the street, I'm having that.
Yeah, but which Victorian's dropping their set of keys on the street nowadays?
You never know.
Unless you're whacking Yale locks. Like,
Gotta
they're not quite
think-
as interesting, are they?
How many locks have been made in this world that have never even been on something and have just like got locked and have lost their key? Like I've got front door keys and stuff to huge doors that I'm like, how did that ever go into a lock and work? And that's why I've got it. 'Cause the lock doesn't work anymore.
It's like the size of a normal door.
It feels like we've gotten a little philosophical.
Yeah, I know.
Think about all the keys that just never find their locks.
So, let's get us somewhat back on track. You know those quick-fire questions that we do that are never ever quick?
We're just really good at tangents today, apparently.
Yes, sir. It's what we do best. If we were to put you in a room with your dream team, this is yourself and 4 other people. They can be alive, they can be dead, they could be celebrities, they could be people you know. Who would the 4 other people be on your escape room team? Assuming this is a team of 5, because any more than that is absolute hell.
That is such a struggle for me because there are so many people and characters that I absolutely love. But when I think about having them in an escape room, I'm probably thinking they would be an absolute nightmare.
I mean, in all fairness, 9 times out of 10, our guests just go with people they'd like to spend time with as opposed to actual practical solutions.
No, no, no. We're going in there to win.
Okay.
Well, there you
We
go.
had Obama in last week.
Nice. I mean, I suppose I would still want real people in there. I love to go into any escape room with my sister, Paige, just because we have such a good laugh. And she's actually really good at the explorer role. So she will actually find things that are very important and navigate them properly.
Without getting too distracted.
Yes. And my partner, Dominic, yeah, he has to come with into all my escape rooms.
Get dragged along whether he likes it or not.
Yep, he has no choice. I think John Watson would be a very good character to have in an escape room. I do love Sherlock Holmes, but I feel like he wouldn't let anybody else decide anything.
That's fair. You got to go with second best in that case because otherwise he's just going to walk in the room and go, yeah, the code's 1365. And who is your fourth and final person?
I am a big lover of the Big Bang Theory, so I think either Leonard Hofstadter or Penny would probably be my characters of choice.
I love Penny.
I also think they'd be an absolute barrel of laughs
It
just
would
to be
be
in a
good.
room with.
Would you have them as the characters or as like the actors?
As the characters, I think.
Cool. A lot of people have said Sheldon Cooper, actually. I think I might have said Sheldon Cooper.
I think you're the only person that said Sheldon Cooper. What do you mean, lots of people?
No, another person has definitely said Sheldon Cooper. I'm just double checking our
Yeah, go back through the Instagram feed.
So mine was Black Widow, Pedro Pascal, Sheldon Cooper, Buddy the Elf.
You know, that's a really good list. Why couldn't I think of that?
Because you had to take family and friends and be a nice person.
Oh, that's true.
We leave niceties at the door here.
Yeah, my husband was furious when he heard that podcast. I'm not on your dream team. I'm like, that's what I
No,
should've
you
said
didn't quite
shouldn't
cut
I?"
it.
You were in the waiting room supporting us from afar.
Cheering us on like the cheerleader you are.
I'm also going to just put in here. Yeah, we just spent 45 minutes, Helena, searching through Instagram looking for something that wasn't there. That's getting left in.
Ah, poor Helena.
I know. Human.
You get bullied, don't you?
Well, hey,
Bullied from
it's
him, doesn't he? Doesn't he
it
bully
is
me?
not bullying.
Rory is
It
the real
is
villain here, isn't he?
it
Yeah.
is
I mean, he needs
harsh
help.
encouragement.
I mean, I didn't
It is
tell him to
character
shut up
building. That's what it
all the
is.
time.
No such thing as bullying. It's character development. I got lots of character development as a child.
What is your escape room's origin story and how did you get into them?
Well, I suppose I've always loved puzzles and mysteries. As I said earlier, I have a strange obsession with old keys. And when the idea of the escape rooms first came out near me, I just knew it was something that I would absolutely love and had to try. And as soon as I got in there, I was like, yeah, this is 100% me.
Do you remember what your first escape room or where your first escape room was?
I think I might have actually been Rob the Bank by No Escape in Malden.
no.
I think that might have been the first one, but I had played it multiple times.
Wow. Did you play it multiple times having known how to get out, or did you play it multiple times because you didn't get out the first time?
Well, I played it multiple times because the first time I played was my first escape room. And then later on in years, I ended up working for them, and I then made friends there because I worked ultimately online. I then made friends through work, and they needed people to help train them on the game, so I went in a couple more times to play the game.
That's fair. I thought you were one of these people that would just go into an escape room, learn how it's done, and then just show off to their friends by doing it.
No, that's just boring.
Yeah.
Once you know how to do the escape room, it's quite boring to go back again.
Yeah, unless like there's major changes or
Or if I'm
you
with a
didn't
group that
escape.
just really wanted to play it. I have had that before where I've played a game and then another group of people then said, oh, we really, really want to play this game. Do you want to come? And I've gone, oh, okay, because it's nice to see other people solving it and just being a part of it as well. So I'll go along
It's
with that.
nice to look forward to things that you know are going to happen that you
Yeah.
enjoyed the first time and you can then watch them experience it.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that the game they wanted to play was an incredibly hard escape room. So I was kind of sitting there thinking, I'll just step in if they need any help very subtly. And I did a few times, but they didn't seem to notice, which was very good. So then at the end of the game, they went, "Oh, so you didn't really have to help us at all, did you?" I was thinking, yes.
Yeah, sure didn't.
It was that good. I'm such a good games master. You didn't even notice. So have you came from the world of escape rooms and running actual games and then went online?
Yes. So when I first started working at the escape room company, it was just before lockdown hit. And then when it hit, obviously all the physical escape rooms closed. And the company in particular was looking for a way to continue to make money through lockdown, and they decided to start doing some online escape rooms. And when that happened, the lady who I was speaking to at the time, because obviously I'd only just recently started the job, started talking about the job. I mean, I hope it was a compliment, but she said I was the most tenacious person she'd ever met, and that I
Is
would be
that a
perfect
compliment?
for online.
Wow. We
So-
need to keep you out of the public eye and put you behind a screen.
Yeah, but I don't think it was quite intended that way, I hope. But she thought I'd be really good working online. So she moved me over to there. And it was a brand new experience for me, as I'd only worked in physical escape rooms. And it was just incredible. And I thought this is just such a good opportunity. And it's so interesting to see all the different teams and groups you get that come on. And to be honest, when they came on, quite a lot of them didn't quite realize what they'd booked on for. They knew it was an online escape room, but they didn't really know much about it. And I suppose, of course, in the world of COVID, where just everything online was quite new, they were quite happy to not know what to expect. And when they came on, it's just quite nice to see how, because with this version of like a D&D style, it's quite interactive in a different way. And you get to actually talk to someone who's actually helping you through the game so that you can enjoy it. And if you get stuck, it's not at the end of the world, and you can talk to new people. And it's just a completely different kind of experience, which everyone loved. I just thought this is a fantastic idea.
Well, evidently you must have been good at it because
Yeah.
you've now made an entire business around it.
I'm going to say something that's going to make me sound really silly for a second, but
Uh-oh.
you'll get it.
What you
So-
mean for a second? You sounded silly from the start of this recording, Helena.
Oh, this whole time, you all know. So Corey messaged me saying, "Oh, by the way, we're going to do an online escape room." And I've made online escape rooms, but treasure hunt ones around Google Maps, so it's completely different. And when we started playing the game, I thought it was an AI. You've got such a lovely voice.
Oh, thank you.
Your voice is too nice, it cannot be real.
Literally, and I was like, "Oh, I guess it's AI. That's really cool. It's like a really fun way of doing it." And then when you started giggling and stuff, I was like, "Oh wait, it's a real person."
It's a real person. Let's clue on that word.
She's a real person.
See, we told you the Alexas, they are out to get you.
No,
I
yeah.
am just the updated version.
I mean, if you could do audiobooks, I'd subscribe.
You hear that audible?
Yeah.
I am who you're looking for.
But it took a couple of things going, "Oh, actually, this isn't just like a click and move on game. This is like a person that's running this game for us," which is so incredibly rare for online escape rooms, especially like one that you have somebody else clicking around for you. I just haven't seen it any other place to have it be something that it was accessible to us. It just didn't feel like something we could do, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Go and play our games, guys.
It's so good that you enjoyed the experience, and that is exactly why I wanted to create it, because I think it was such a different idea when the company I worked for kind of fell into it, that I thought this is just an incredible way of interacting with people. Because I don't know about you, sometimes when you play the online escape rooms or even the tabletop ones, they're a lot of fun. There are some lot of great options out there. If you're stuck on something for about a while, and you're then playing it for a long time, you're still stuck on it, it can then start to ruin the whole thing. And then you go, "Oh, I'll come back to that later." And then you either never do, or it takes you a really long time to complete it. Whereas it's quite nice with this one that you're kind of not allowed to get stuck for too long, because the game master wants you to have a good time. They wants you to solve it. It wants you to go through the game with you, so you play along together.
I feel like it's also really nice to get the unique interactions that you get. Obviously, every time you have a team on there, it's going to be totally different what they're saying, totally different what you're reacting with. Like us being like, oh, maybe we should go have a look over here. And you're like, that looks a lot like set dressing over there. And we're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't go look over there. We're getting distracted.
It does have the opportunity to have a whole tailored experience to you, depending on how you go through the game. As you say, what you say, sometimes people will come out with some amazing things to say, and you have to go along with it because you can't really say no, because that's boring. So you have to come up with some sort of reason. When I've run other games, we had a laser grid on the online game, and you get people that say, can I stick my friend's hand into the laser grid? And you're like, well, yes. But now he has no hands, so, now you're kind of stuck.
You gotta do everything with one hand.
I absolutely love that. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do in an escape room?
Do we want to know?
I do.
It's been a while since I've had my last weird request.
For legal reasons, Mia can't answer this question.
Yes.
Because there's an ongoing court case.
Can't remember now. I think it was things like when they just generally ask, can we set fire to that? I'm like, no. It's an escape room. Please don't set fire to things.
I feel like you still need to give the briefing at the start by the sounds of it. Like, please don't lift anything up that you can't lift. Please don't jump out the windows.
I think more of the weird requests come from because you have to be quite specific with what you want to ask them to do. Because sometimes, depending on the game and depending how hard you've made it, if someone says, say you've got a puzzle that's, I don't know, under the bed. If you get someone that just asks you, can I look at the bed? It's not really specific enough. Because
do you mean under the pillow? Do you mean under the bed sheets?
Yeah.
Do you mean under the bed? Do you mean
If
in
you
the
were
bed?
actually in a physical room, you would have to physically look yourself. And it's a bit too much of a leap to go, underneath the bed, you look and find something, you have to be more specific. So if people get a bit more stuck, they then start coming out with some strange requests of things they can do because they're trying to find the right wording and it's just not getting them there.
We got stuck on something like that when we actually played. We were like, can we look at this item? And you were like, these items are on this. And we went, okay. And then we moved on and we moved away from that thing that we actually really needed, didn't we?
Ask specifically enough.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, wait, it took us to do another 2 puzzles to realize we actually needed something. And that was the only place we could get it. This is really difficult to say this without saying what it is.
Yeah, it's quite hard because especially if you're such an interactive game master, when you see they're almost there, it's very difficult to not say, oh, just do that,
Just lift it up, you idiot. Stop looking at it.
You have to give sort of little hints here and there to try and get you back on track. But at the end of that, it is quite entertaining to watch people sort of skirt around it. And you go, oh, you're almost there.
Watching them squirm.
I have all the power.
So, what does the game development process look like for one of your virtual games?
Well, I start with the planning, mind mapping ideas, listing puzzles I like the idea of, and just anything that comes to mind.
Do you tend to start with puzzles first or theme first?
I tend to start with a theme first, and generally what I want it to look like. And I start to get the idea of the general flow of the game, how I want them to move throughout the room. And if it's something to me that seems a bit jarring, I rewrite it because I personally think the flow of the game is what helps people the most and helps them enjoy it going through it. If it feels like it's all nice and linked together, you get that sense of satisfaction at the end when you've solved it. So in the long weekend, it's in a house. So you start in the living room and then you move to all the different rooms, but it works in a kind of circular flow so that you don't just, oh, I've done this room now, that's it, we don't go back to it. So it does kind of come back on itself, but it does give you the opportunity to explore, but also brings you back to the start again.
Yeah, it was nice to see it come full circle. Obviously, with a lot of in-person escapes, once you've been in a room and you've done everything, that's it. You tend not to go back. And some of my favorite rooms have been ones where it's been like, have a look for this information in room 1, and you've got to like link things back from stuff that you've seen. So it was nice to see that done virtually as well.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to do it that way because then otherwise you get into that habit, don't you? Of, like as soon as you've left that room, that's it. You're like, I've forgotten everything now because you've done that.
Yeah.
It's cropped off. So it's quite nice to go, no, you have to get back. And it's as if you are actually in a house or a building or whatever it is you base the game on. You know, when you're in a room normally, or if you watch a film or read a book, they don't just leave the room and that's it. Everything you needed to find is in there, is just done. And it's quite nice that there's some like other secrets as you come back to it, things that you couldn't explore originally because you didn't have all the information.
Another thing that I found incredibly cool was that you can play the entire game and not have explored or found everything. I think that's a very cool concept, because there was things that we missed that, even though we got the answers correct, would have helped us make the links significantly more solid than we made them had we have found these things that helped us further down the line.
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing is with these games is that I wrote it in the sense, though, that you did not have to find everything to be able to solve it, but it would significantly help you. So that's the other thing I find in escape rooms. If you get stuck on a specific puzzle, that's kind of it. You can't move on from it until you've solved it. And then I know my brain in particular likes to jump to different things and go, okay, well, I'll have a break from that and I'll solve this. So in most of my games that I write, I tend to have almost two pathways that go along through the game, so that if you kind of get stuck on one pathway, you can jump to the next one. Obviously, it will reach a point where you will have to solve one or the other to move forward, but there's obviously different ways that you can then solve the game. But then, like you say, if you miss something or don't find something, you might be thinking, oh, I found everything.
Yeah, it's very easy to miss stuff, and the key part that we found and the key part we didn't find changed the story entirely. So the way that you could look at things were totally different depending on what you'd found. And obviously, this being a murder mystery-esque kind of game, it's incredibly crucial that you have all of the details available at hand. Otherwise, you are wrongly accusing somebody and getting them put in prison.
Yes, exactly. So all the clues for the murder mystery are quite well hidden throughout the game. Some of them are obvious than others, but they're all quite hidden throughout the game. So the puzzles that you find are more to help you get out of the escape room. But yes, you do have to do a bit of sleuthing yourself to actually find all of the clues.
How difficult do you find it to write murder mystery? Because obviously a lot of murder mysteries, it has to just be one person, but the motives have to be close enough that it could be multiple, but it has to be like sealed tight. There can't be any sort of give.
Yes. I mean, with the murder mystery element of it, I tend to write the list of people and the possible connection to the victim first, and then I'll start trying to write each of their stories. I normally start the process of writing whodunit as if they've all done it. So I'll write a story for all of them so that it's quite plausibly all of them could do it. And then I'll pick the person later on who is actually going to be the murderer. Because I think you fall into a trap at the beginning if you pick who you want to be the murderer first. Because then after that, you then have nothing much to write about the other people who could have done it as well. Whereas if you start it with they're all the murderer, then you have more things to fall back on later and more things to link through.
Spoiler alert, they're not all the murderer. That's not how you win the game.
It did take us some time to go, actually, that person's discounted, that person's discounted. But we had, like, I think 3 at the end that we couldn't decide who was the murderer.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a lucky guess.
Yeah.
Combined with deduction. There was just one item that we didn't find that would have helped us narrow it down like instantly, but we weren't good enough explorers.
You weren't nosy enough.
No, you were very good.
Thank you.
And there were a lot of clues to catch you out. There were a lot of clues that had hidden meanings to them, but you needed to find things later on to be able to deduce that they were misleading you.
There is also a lovely little Easter egg in there, which I'm not going to spoil because it was a lot of fun to find. And it was just like, if you're an escape room person, you know what it is. And it's just it's a middle finger to an escape room player, basically. And it's
I think I know what you are referring to.
So what do you find are the benefits and negatives for virtual escape rooms in comparison to in-person escape rooms?
I think personally, they're just they're completely different experiences. So for the pros and cons of them, I think that physical rooms are obviously very exciting to be in person and to be able to physically pick things up and do things and go along with it. And the game master takes a bit more of a back seat in most of the escape rooms. They're just trying to guide you through the game and help you if you get stuck. They don't particularly play so much of a role in the physical escape rooms as much, but they don't, obviously not all of them, but for the most part, they tend to just be the watchful eye. With the physical rooms, you're going in with a group of people already and you're going in there to have a good time. So no matter what the escape room game master does, you're going to have a nice experience because you're out with a group of friends and you're physically there. So you don't have to create anything in your mind for it because it's already there. When you do the online, it's a chance to be able to do a bit of escapism at home, or some people have done it at corporate functions. It's a nice way to get a team of people online to be able to play together. And it's quite nice even for people I've had who are on their own and they want to play a game, but when you play an online game, it's just not particularly interactive. Whereas when you have this style of game, you have a live game master that's chatting to you, having a laugh with you, helping you get through the game, is being generally entertaining. And it's just a different experience entirely.
I'd never thought about it that way, to be fair. I always thought, it brings together people that can't necessarily see each other in person, like family and relatives that are far away. But yeah, it's really nice to think that as an individual, you can still have the fun of an escape room without it being an absolute nightmare and a lot of stress.
Because I think for the most part, obviously, I personally recommend a team of 3 to 4 people to do these kind of games. Just generally, escape rooms are better with that kind of size of group of people. But you can do them with less people. It's just harder. But if you're going on to one of these games because you want that kind of interaction and you want to play along with an escape room, then it's quite nice because you still have someone you can talk to, and it's the game master and they're there to help you, to entertain you.
This takes us perfectly onto the next question, which is obviously recently you added the option for meet and greet sessions in which strangers or single people can opt to play with other strangers. Why did this come about and what did you hope to achieve through adding a meet and greet option?
Yeah, so I get so many people that get in touch with me and they say how they really want to play, but they don't have enough people to make up a team. And as I said earlier, even though these games can be played with 1 or 2 people, it is best with 3 or 4. And it's not just for difficulty purposes, but because I feel people have more fun with this style of game when they're in a group. And it made me think of so many ways this option could benefit people. So, whether you'd like to make new friends or meet new people, or, you just need some extra players to play the game, this is a great chance to play along and meet new people. And it won't be awkward because you'll have a live game master controlling it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew this was an option because then I wouldn't have had to play with Helena.
Damn it, we've got to ask her.
Oh.
Helena, I need help. No, it was a very enjoyable experience.
Really mean.
You'd probably do better in an escape room on your own than with me in it anyway, let's be honest. So I'm just a hindrance.
Every escape room you need multiple players. Nobody can do. Well, I've ran games with single players in and they just don't get out.
You need someone to bounce the ideas off with, don't you? And just, help you explore it a bit more.
Like, there's only so much a game operator can do. Like, you can be an extra player in a game, which I've been extra players in multiple games, but with a single player, it's quite difficult, especially in physical games as well, where they might need to be across multiple rooms at once. That can be so difficult to watch. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, you booked this game.
Yeah, they are quite challenging. I don't think anybody recommends doing an escape room with one person, but that is why I thought of the meet and greet option, so that if you wanted to meet new people or make new friends, you fill out these, sign up forms to add you to the list, and I'll appropriately match you with other players who want the same thing you do.
I feel like maybe single person escape rooms should become a thing because there's a lot of time where I'm like, I really want to do an escape room, but friends aren't available, they don't have money, I just want to go somewhere on my own. Or alternatively, I'm like, I'm not doing people right now. I need some space, but I still need my escape room hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, one day. I know there's a few smaller ones out there, but at the same time, I also doubt my ability to get out of a room on my own.
Like a normal room either. Handle it hard.
My room is pitch black, so at night it's really difficult to find the door.
I mean,
like
that is
an
a true escape room.
escape room in itself. The first night I slept in this room when I just painted. To clarify, the ceiling's black, the walls are black, the radiator's black, the door's black, everything's black, just like the
Blimey, you
aesthetic.
just made it as challenging as possible, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, stunning, beautiful. At night, absolute nightmare. The first day I moved in, I walked into the wall twice. I walked into the door without being able to find it. It was not okay. Now I've kind of mapped it out in my brain, and it just kind of gets me out of the room on its own. But yeah, first week, nightmare.
Oh my god. I mean, that is a decision in itself to paint the entire room black, door and all.
Yep, I think the other decision is having to paint it back when I inevitably move out.
Oh my god,
now
yeah.
let the next person
Yeah,
deal with
not
that.
looking forward to that. No, I don't think my friends who are currently my landlords would enjoy that much.
Yeah. What did they say when you just started to paint this whole room black?
So I had already spoken to them about it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's a great idea. Sounds fantastic. It'll look great when it's done." But every time I say I'm gonna go do something, I tend to do a lot of crazy things, like climbing mountains, doing half Ironmans, running marathons, things like that. So often when I'm prepping for it, my housemates will go, "Yeah, I hope you have a great day doing whatever you're doing. Just please don't die because we're not painting your room. So if you're gonna die, at least come back, paint your room, and then do it." All
I
right,
love
cheers,
how they
guys.
start off with this is a great idea, and then they actually thought about it later on, and then went,
Yeah, now
maybe
they're
we
like,
shouldn't
"This
have
is
gone through
our problem." But in all fairness, I am also their problem, so it comes as a package.
I do call them like your surrogate mum and dad.
I call them my surrogate mum and dad. Every set of housemates that I've ever lived with have become my mum and dad. I've got so many mums and dads around the world, it's ridiculous. Great
call
for
in
Christmas, though.
occasionally. Well, this is who you should have brought to the online escape room.
I know, I should have got all my mums and dads into one room. Would have been wild. Wow, what a
So,
tangent.
Everyone except your real mum and dad. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, or I'd pull my real mum and dad in and not explain the situation at all and just have them really weirded out when everyone's like, yes.
So, if you could go back to when you first started to do anything with escape rooms, what is some advice that you'd give yourself?
Whatever time you think something is going to take, triple it.
Is this in terms of development or is this in terms of actually getting out of the room?
You know what? Honestly, everything. I remember when I first was doing it, the only things I didn't create in the game are the images, which I got made for me. And I remember I got a quote from them at the beginning, and then they said, "Oh, yeah, we can get these done for you in about 2 weeks." And I remembered thinking at the time, I was like, that sounds like a really short amount of time to be
Famous
able
last
to get
words.
done. And I was saying to him, "You do know how many images there are, right?" He's like, yeah, they'll be done in 2 weeks. Anyway, 3 months later. And just, I think every step of the way, like you try to plan out what you do plus extra time, and it just, just
Still not
maybe
enough.
don't set yourself any firm deadlines.
This is why we do bi-weekly episodes and not weekly.
Yes. I mean, as well, to be honest, I'm quite a new business and I'm always learning new things and ways to improve. And hopefully in a few years from now, I mean, I'd like to think that I wouldn't regret anything I did in the beginning because I actively try to learn how to do things better. I don't assume I know everything. And, a large part of learning is getting things wrong and seeing what you can do to improve. I think I'll probably just be giving myself the same advice as I do, every time things are a bit overwhelming. And that's just simply, just keep going, just keep doing things, just keep writing, keep doing it, and, just keep moving. Just as long as you don't stop moving, you're going to be fine.
I don't think any business has ever been created without a mistake. Like
Yeah,
mistakes are what you learn from. There's no way to avoid it.
exactly. I mean, there's so many things as well that you might not even count as mistakes, but they're just things that you could have done better that will just improve it so much more. And I think, if anything, I don't feel like, oh my God, I've made such a mistake. I just think, oh, fantastic, I can improve this and it'll be 10 times better.
Yeah, it's areas for improvement. But at the end of the day, like, this is your passion. You want to make the experience as good as possible. And there's no way you're going to get that first time. And it only comes with getting people into the room and seeing all the different weirdos that you get in there that have all of these crazy responses, like me. And figuring out where the tight spots are or where there's things that could be changed or improved. And yeah, it takes time.
I mean, I feel my sister gets the brunt of it because during the game process, obviously I plan out the game and then that takes a long time and I design it. But then before I obviously send it off for any kind of imaging or artwork or anything like that, I then draw it all up myself and I put it into, just something like PowerPoint or something just to be able to flick through it just to generally see if it works. And I will always get my sister to test it first.
Shout out to Paige again.
Yeah, and then she'll go through it, and she's quite good because she'll go, "No, that took too long. No, that's not good. No, do that again."
I understand why it's not your brother, because he'd just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm already out."
Yeah, she's just a very good person to go through it with. And once I've done that, I'll then obviously make it proper. And then I'll have to write the script and do the rest of the design work. And then it goes through a lot of trialing. So it is a lot of what can be done better at the end of it. What didn't you like, what took too long before you get the end result that works quite nicely, quite seamlessly.
Obviously, you have to ad-lib a lot within the escape room with whatever response you're given.
Yeah.
How do you find that? Do you just sort of flow with it, or is there sometimes you're like, I do not know what to say to that?
I mean, for the most part, you generally quite flow with it. Obviously, you cannot plan for everything. There are things people are going to say that you could never possibly imagine they were going to say.
That's what makes it so interesting.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it makes it quite entertaining for the game master because you're not then just replaying the same thing over and over again because each group makes it entirely different. And then I think with the improvisations, they do come quite naturally, but I think if you play the game quite often, you'll tend to find that there was one game I ran in particular that I ran it so often, no one surprised me in the end. I had a response for absolutely everything, which just comes with time of learning the game in itself. But improvisations, I tend to just follow the general mood and what the team are quite like. And yeah, you just kind of go with it, really.
Obviously, we mentioned stereotypes at the start for sort of player types. Can you get a general sense of how a team's going to be within the first 5-10 minutes before they've even sort of delved into the room? Or do you find it takes a while for them to sort of figure out who they are and what they do?
Oh no, you can 100% tell in the first 10 minutes how they're going to do. In the first 10 minutes, I could probably tell you what time they're going to finish with.
Oh, that's very cool.
Because I think as well, with this kind of escape room as well, I will try to. This is why it's quite difficult on the hardness level, because if I left you into this game and didn't say anything, I would think that most people would find it incredibly difficult. So depending on the team, in the first 10 minutes, I can see if they are experienced escape roomers who play these things quite a lot. So that'd be a lot less direction from me. But then depending on who they are as people, I might include a bit more comedy into bits and pieces of it and try and joke along with them a little bit more. If they're a family or someone that you can see they are just looking for a nice evening out to play a game or anything, I might be slightly more helpful in places. Nothing to the degree of I'm telling you the answers, of course, but it's just to be able to see where they're going to end up. I think most game masters who even run physical rooms have multiple rooms. I think you have a number in your head of how long you think they should spend in each room to get out on time. And if they start exceeding that mark, you start panicking and thinking, okay, how can I help them to sort of ease them into the next bit?
Yeah, I don't think I could do this because, as you mentioned there, when you see a family just wanting to have a good time and you help them along, I'd be the kind of guy that's starting family feuds that they talk about for years. I'd be turning this into Monopoly. There'd be fights on screen.
I mean, because a lot of people, though, they, not everyone who plays escape rooms are escape room nuts like us who go around and just try and play as many as possible and are obsessed with it. Some people, it is just a nice evening out. And I get really disappointed when you talk to people sometimes and you talk about escape rooms with such passion and they go, oh, but, I don't think I'm quite intelligent enough to play an escape room. I don't think it's quite for me. And I think, no, escape room should be for everybody. Everybody should be able to walk into an escape room no matter what they think they're like and enjoy it.
It's why I find escape rooms that have particularly low success rates, just for the sake of it, incredibly frustrating. Because I feel like for new players going into escape rooms, I know we mentioned this in a message the other day about new player experiences. If you go into an escape room and you have a bad experience because the room is built to make you look like an idiot, you will
Yeah.
leave that room and just think, I'm an idiot, escape rooms aren't for me. And that's such a horrible way to come out of an escape room. That's not the experience that anyone should be having in that environment.
No, and I think, you shouldn't as well. You shouldn't feel as if you have to escape the room to enjoy
No,
it
no, no,
and
no,
to be
no,
good at
no,
it.
wrong. We have to escape the room always. That's not how this works. No, that's
There is no
100%.
option.
You should see the briefing I give my team before we do any escape room. Got them all lined up in a wall. They're all saluting us. Like, it's carnage. No clues, no nothing.
I don't know. I don't like to see people leave and go, "Oh, we didn't escape," and then that's kind of it. And they go, "No,
I think everybody should get at least 90% of the way through. Regardless of how well
Yes.
you're doing, you should be able to assist that team to get the most out of their experience without necessarily helping them to escape.
Oh no, definitely."
If they're destined for doom, because they're not necessarily the smartest people in an escape room environment, which again doesn't necessarily mean they're not smart, because you could be the smartest person ever. As an escape room is a totally different scenario to maths, unless it's a math puzzle in an escape room, in which case, well done. But yeah, I think all players should be able to get sort of 90% of the way through to experience most of the game, to see everything, to interact with everything, and still have a good time without it just being, ha, you got locked in, we're smarter than you.
Yeah, no, and definitely it is a nightmare if you play an escape room and then in the first 20 minutes you solve it and you go, "Oh, that's it, is it?" Where's
That is the
rest of
flip
the hour?
side. Yeah, we've had a fair few of those as well, where we finished in 22, 24 minutes, and I'm just like, what are you doing with the rest of my money? Because
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah, I think that's it as well. So everyone goes, "Oh, I want to get the best time." And I was like, "But you don't really, because if you finish it in 20 minutes, you're going to be disappointed."
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'll try and finish it as fast as possible, and then I'll just be like, do you mind if I just have a look around the room? And I'll just look at props and have a look at puzzles and how things are put together, and I'll be like, oh, this is really cool. And I'll use a little bit of the time that we've got remaining just to explore, because unfortunately, I am the kind of person that just gets my head down, and I'm super competitive in an escape room. I'll still take it in, I'll still enjoy it, but I'm there to get in, get out, get a fast time, and then afterwards I can have a look at the beauty that lies within.
I think that's why, though, as well, it's quite good in the style of games like this, is that it takes you most of the time just to explore everything. So you collect things along the way, but it's not as if you're standing in a room and you've now seen everything and you can actually solve all of it in one go in 30 minutes if you liked. It does take you the time to explore it all.
It's why I much prefer multi-room experiences.
Yes.
I feel like I understand completely not everywhere is going to have the opportunity to have the ground space to put multi-room in. Sometimes it has to be a single room. There's some absolutely phenomenal single room experiences that are doing totally different things that I've never seen in any other room, which is very, very cool. But at the same time, I don't think anything beats thinking that you're in a solo room and then it branches out into other rooms. Secret doors open, you go down tunnels, you go down slides. What, you put a slide in an escape room? That is me coming back 20 times over just to use a slide.
What escape room have you done that in?
I haven't, but somebody needs to put a slide in an escape room. I'm pretty sure Tully's have a slide in one of their games. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on one of their social media posts. So I've not played all of their games yet, but hopefully they do have a slide, because if they do, there's some next level stuff right there.
You just won't be leaving that escape room. You'd be like, "Oh no, I haven't solved it. That's a shame."
Yeah, climbing back up the slide for a second go.
Oh, I can imagine the amount of random stuff you could possibly put in a slide in an escape room. Oh,
Imagine if
so
there was
much
things
fun.
that you had to grab on the way down, or
Yeah.
there's a puzzle built into the slide. That would be cool.
But can you imagine if the whole point was to go down the slide to catch something and you just missed it every single time?
Yeah. Hand-eye coordination 0. That would fully be me. In all fairness, I'd be so distracted by the slide itself that I wouldn't even notice anything around us. I'd just be like, whee!
the first person didn't get it, the second person, the fifth person, and you're like, did anybody get the thing that was hanging down? And you just kind of stuck at the bottom of the slide.
What thing?
You're like, oh, we're gonna have to restart the game.
Someone ends up fashioning some sort of fishing rod out of things they found in the escape room.
Using like skeleton arms and
Yes. Old locks. Well, we use this padlock. We could reuse it as a hook.
that giant key collection that you've got. I wonder if you do collect keys, if you were to take your keys into a room, whether you could get some of the locks open using other keys.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Although I
But if
remember once I did an escape room, and the last part of the puzzle, I think we were running out of time. And the last part of this puzzle, there was a whole pot of keys that
Oh,
you had to figure out. There must have been a puzzle to figure out which key was which. I'm pretty sure they had numbers or colors or something on them, but we were
didn't
running
just
low
guess,
on
did you?
time. I think not even low on time. I think it was probably 15 minutes till the end of the game. And I just went, oh, well, I'll just try that one. And I just reached in randomly and got one and tried it on the door and it opened.
no
Oh my
way.
God, no way.
And they were like, no, you had 15 minutes left. There's still another puzzle.
You and your brother are demons
I know.
in an escape room. This is not
I'd lock you
okay.
back in.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
know.
you did. I think they went, you can go back in and finish that. I'm like, oh,
I'd be
okay.
holding the door handle shut. Nope, wrong key, try again.
Yeah. I think because I was panicking, I was just like, oh, we'll just try a key. I write escape rooms and I stupidly didn't think, the numbers might mean something. I guess I've just got to try all the keys in the lock. And just tried the first one.
That would be my solution too. I'd be like, somebody else figure the puzzle out. I'm just going to try every single one.
Yeah.
Speaking of being stuck in a room, if you had an unlimited budget to create your own room, either virtually or in person, what would you build?
I have actually written 3 physical rooms that I hope to build one day. One is actually murder mystery themed as well. One's horror themed.
Oof.
And are you not into horror?
Already excited. No, very much into horror.
And the other was more of your bog standard. I think it was more of a break-in room where you had to break into an art gallery.
Tell us about the horror one.
Nope, I'm not telling you about the horror one.
What do you mean?
Any secrets?
Yeah, that's fair. But if we were to give you unlimited money and you could create absolutely anything, obviously those rooms you've created, I assume you've created with money in mind.
Yeah.
You're not just rocking an
To a degree.
unlimited budget. What would you create if we gave you all of the monies?
I have an interesting idea for a multi-room escape room that might not be suitable for people with claustrophobia.
Uh-oh.
And I think if I had an unlimited budget, I would probably build that one.
So with this unlimited, massive amount of money, you're going to make the smallest room physically possible.
No, it is quite a big room, but it's a secret room part of the game. And if you get it wrong, the walls start closing in.
Oof. Until eventually you get squashed and then they get rid of your body and you're never seen again.
Yes. I mean, of course, you would need a number of safety precautions.
Yeah,
for
but with
this.
an unlimited budget, you don't need to worry about health and safety.
Exactly.
It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly. We'll figure it out.
Is there anything you would do virtually if you
Ooh,
had
yeah.
like a ridiculous budget? I don't know what the scope is in a virtual sense. Maybe like
Yeah.
an actual 3D walk around game, like virtual reality stuff. Is that something that you'd ever thought about? Or
Well, I think not with an unlimited budget, but well, I'm not sure really, because with the virtual escape rooms, I quite like still the interactiveness of the game master and taking you around in a D&D style. So that kind of gets eliminated if you build the game so much that you don't need that role anymore, that you can just go and play it yourself. And I think that comes out of what I was trying to do initially. So I don't think I would like to create anything on that scale of virtual reality or any more improvements of that game. If I had an unlimited budget, I do have lots of ideas of how I would improve certain elements maybe and involve some other features into the game, which could be very interesting to work with. But I think overall, the point of these games was to be interactive with people. And I don't want to take that away by creating something more virtual reality based.
that's fair. I think having that human aspect is what makes it so unique. And I think taking that away would change the experience entirely.
Yeah. So I think with the unlimited budget, I would probably just expand, do more online escape rooms, do more with it, and with the addition of physical escape rooms as well.
If you were to expand, would you just juggle all of these rooms yourself?
Yeah.
Or
Would
No,
you join
if
a team?
I would build a team, I would need a team of people to run them all. That way I don't have to run anything.
Yeah. You could be like, I'm done now. I just write now. That's all I do.
Yeah. No, I do get a lot of enjoyment from running the games and interacting with everyone. It is a great part of the job.
So, obviously, you were very ominous with your answer there in saying that there's features that you'd like to add, but you didn't specify, and there's
Yeah.
rooms that you'd like to do, but you couldn't say any more. What teasers can you give us for your plans for the future? Is there anything you're working on at current, or anything that's not in the limelight that you can share with us?
Well, I don't want to give too many details away because I don't want to spoil anything, but I am currently writing a new online escape room, which hopefully will come out next year, and that one will be called The Creepy Keeper.
Ooh. I am correct in thinking this isn't a lighthouse, right?
Yes.
Very, very
Very
cool
cool.
environment. Couldn't think of the word there. But yeah, incredibly cool environment. Has a lot of scope to be super creepy. Hopefully, you're going down that route. I mean, creepy keeper, obviously. Why did my brain just do that?
Yes, the hope is that it is going to be more of the creepy elements to the game. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to implement some of these new features.
Ooh, again, still ominous. Teasing us, but still ominous. You know it is.
Well, I can't
Well,
tell you all my secrets, Corey.
well, yeah, of course.
Aw,
Of course.
come on.
Gotta keep some of them back, otherwise I'm gonna steal them all.
So where can our listeners find you?
So my Instagram is Cloak and Dagger Games Ltd, and then I also have a TikTok account and Facebook. You can find me on any of those.
And obviously at cloakandaggergames.co.uk.
Of course.
It has been an absolute pleasure, Mia. Thank you for lending your time this evening and making it online to tolerate us instead of wonderful people playing your games.
No, it's been really lovely to meet the both of you. It's been really nice.
As always, if you have enjoyed the episode, please do leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or whichever platform you're on. If you're looking to leave anything less than a 5-star, please don't.
I will find you.
We know where you live. Have a wonderful evening or day or whatever you're doing. Just enjoy yourselves. Get out, play some escape rooms, play Mia's games. They're incredible. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.